Location, Earth 1026, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 11:41 a.m. on a Wednesday. Relive every epic martial arts showdown with this limited edition Trick Snake box set, including all 6 films in the iconic action series from Trauma Studios. Subject, Jeff Stormer, copywriter for GHS, Galactic Home Shopping. And hit send, and, fuck, I gotta get out. I think I'm gonna go Chipotle for lunch. Did somebody leave a Superman-themed watch on my desk? Because it's cool. I like it. I'm gonna keep it. Nobody? Okay. There's a note. Put on the watch, dummy. Rude. But okay.
Jeff, okay, you put on the watch. Thank God. Great.
What?
You've got questions. I can explain. But also, just a heads up, this is all pre-recorded. I just knew you were going to say, what?
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good.
It is pretty good, but I need you to sit and listen, okay? So here's the deal. I'm you, sort of you, Earth 69420.
Nice.
Thank you, I picked it. I'm assuming you saw Spider-Verse. It's everybody in the multiverse has seen Spider-Verse at this point. It's a multiverse situation,
okay,
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. Just, yeah. I mean, tell me what you need me to do. Me?
1, you said do me, and that's funny. And 2, actually, hold on, I have a script here. Let me just grab it. Where is my notes? Okay. The multiverse marches on, or at least it used to. I won't beat around the bush. Cosmos itself is in trouble. Our multiverse is under attack. It is being eaten by an entity that we have dubbed ECCO. Entity of cosmological consumption and obfuscation. The entity has already consumed several universes in their entirety. This is one of the only universes left. We need you to track down ECCO, destroy it, help us stabilize the timeline. Given the stakes of this mission, we're opening you up to some possibilities. Get fucky with it. With this letter, I've included some tools for your mission. You've got your watch. You're already wearing it. It's how I'm talking to you. You've got an agent field planner. You've got some area-appropriate currency. After this first jump, you'll be mostly on your own. We'll send help what we can. Good luck. Tempest, Itineribus, and don't forget the coin.
Okay, 2 more questions, and then I should be all set.
Right, questions. I'm going to guess it's who's we and what's the coin?
Right, yes, but I guess 3 with the what's the watch.
And then what's the watch? Sure. Okay, 1, we. I can't take this thing alone. It's after me pretty closely, so I've had to gather a team.
Multiverse agency.
You get the deal.
Got it.
2, the coin. Ground you in the multiverse. It serves as a final defense against timeline divergence, time storms, time hell. You get the vibe. When some things happen, when timelines start to converge around yourself, you're going to flip the coin. It should ground you in a particular place and time. You'll figure it out. And then the watch will explain itself. But listen, I got to go. I got to hide. I got to lay low. Godspeed, soldier. Thank you so much for doing this. I owe you a favor. Stormer out.
Okay. Hey, everybody. I'm gonna take my lunch break. I'll be back. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna activate this watch. Watch activated. Standard issue agency time machine. Looks like a wristwatch with a spinnable outer rim, but no discernible way to tell time. Limited travel capabilities, but good for a basic jump. To travel with the watch, roll 1d6, and use the number to modify the 1s, 10s, or when available, 100s digit of your episode number to determine your new ending location. Then, answer the corresponding prompt. Okay, I guess. Here we go. Party of One presents Project ECCO, with 400 episodes of the Party of One backlog. Project ECCO is a single-player role-playing game designed to be played with an actual year planner. The way the game works is you hop around days in a year planner, answering prompts and playing the role of a time agent pursuing an entity that is consuming the timeline in real time. We, of course, have lightly hacked this game to, instead of a year planner, use the fact that there are officially 400 goddamn episodes of Party of One, something that I, Jeff Stormer, your host, as always, am very profoundly emotional about. You can learn more about Project ECCO at moreblueberries.itch.io or check the show notes for more information. You can also follow the game's creator Elliot Davis on Twitter at morebluebs. Then while you're on Twitter, follow us at Party of One Pod. You can also follow the show on Tumblr at Party of One Pod, TikTok at Party of One Podcast, follow our newsletter at buttondown.email/Party of One Podcast, or support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Jeff Stormer. Party of One is, as always, produced and edited by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. Music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Mega Ran featuring the D&D Sluggers. Progress. This episode as well features a couple instrumental tracks by Heinz Kessler. They are all in the public domain. Oh, and also Christmas Wish by Kevin MacLeod. That comes up a couple times. And before we blast off into the multiverse, allow me to just say briefly, so that I don't get too emotional, thanks for hanging out with us for 400 episodes. And I hope that we get to hang out for a bunch more. Thanks for everything. I'm going to throw it back to me in an alternate timeline so that he can kick off his adventure. Take it, alternate me. Jump number 1. Result number 6. Reducing episode count by 6 or 60. We're going to go 60. Earth 340. Going rogue 2E with Jess Levine. I am dropped into a live firefight in a crowded hallway. It is chaos. I don't want to be here. This is a nightmare. I was in a lovely office with a boring cubicle lined with posters and little toys, and now I'm being shot at with laser guns. What the hell is happening to me?
I am outside of the cell now, and like the elevator opens and the two of them see me. And I love the idea that like you've said all these things to me, and they've just communicated to her that there's this runaway spy, and then she sees me.
Oh, that's even better. If they were just coming down here for business and then they hear on the communicator that someone has escaped, she sees you and like the everything clicks.
Yes, and pistols go out. Like she draws, and I'm between the two of you, and I'm going to use my move from the loyal, which is draw a fire and take a hit, but shrug it off. I grab your shoulder, throw you behind me, trusting that you've already gotten the data. We said, like we saw you accessing a system, and I just throw myself forward, putting my shoulder forward, and take the blaster bolt into my shoulder, yelling to you, "Get out!" And I'm still barreling towards the elevator, even with my shoulder down.
Chronal distortion detected. 2 timelines split your vision. You reach for your coin. Tails. There it is. Entity encounter. Roll 1d6 to analyze entity activity. 3. Emergency note. Earths 112, 114, and 361 have been compromised. Inquiry. In between the layers of time and space, the entity is getting stronger. What reality-altering ability do you witness it use around you? The bell rings, the door opens, and there are a whole lot of soldiers pointing weapons at me. Laser rifles. I look to the side, and Torch Saflum is also pointing a laser gun at me. Every single being around me has a gun aimed at me, and it seems that this entity has developed the ability to puppet entire universes, every living thing, under its will. And I am going to do the thing that I, Jeff Stormer, am most likely to do. I'm gonna run. Bye, everybody. Watch activated. Roll 1d6 to determine new location. 4. Reducing result by 4 or 40. New destination, Earth 336. Broken with Max Newland. And suddenly I am in the backseat of a car. I don't think the couple has noticed me. They seem to be dealing with some things, so I'm gonna try and just sit here and hope that they don't notice me. So...
I'm sorry.
I appreciate that, thank you.
I guess I'll say that. I've got a lot on my mind right now.
Believe me, I get it. I completely understand.
Sure,
It is, I mean, there's a reason that we want the wedding planner, right? It's because this is a lot. We know that.
I just think that, right now the store is in kind of a bad place. We just made the switch over to digital. It's the convention was not a big success. I know this, you know this. So, there's a lot going on that I don't think we've considered fully. I
know that. I know.
But there's a but. Yes, of course. I knew there's a but.
Well, yeah, because it is our wedding.
I just don't. I don't understand why it has to be. I mean, I'm treading old ground here. We've had this conversation before, but really, I'm thinking. There's there's a time and a place for something that requires this much planning, right? And two guys who run a video store in Shermer, Illinois.
And I know that, like, I've, and I think, like, starts to tear up a little bit, like, yeah, but, like, when am I going to have that moment otherwise? We're two guys that run a video store in Shermer, Illinois. Like, everything else in my life has been Shermer, Illinois.
Okay, that's not fair, because you are a smart guy and you can go anywhere you want. And you have the business sense that I know that you could succeed at this no matter where you were.
Yeah, but I don't want to succeed. I don't want to succeed.
Well, what do you want, Ted?
I want to feel like a prince for one night. Like, I like being here. I would like a night where, you know, we get to feel glitzy and glamoury. Like, I don't want to leave, but I do want to, you know, jazz it up a little.
Well, what if I do want to leave?
Why would you want to leave? Like, why on earth would you want to leave?
I mean, are you kidding? We've got the biggest thing in town is the Radio Shack.
Well,
and it's going on.
It was.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's a Best Buy now, and so we're kind of losing the local flavor here. Is not exactly.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I really do. I don't know. I really thought you really don't want to hang around. Like, you really, do you, like, hold on. I need to ask you, I'm so sorry I need to ask you this.
All right.
I'm rolling my eyes saying the words, and forgive me. You're gonna dunk on me. You're gonna make fun of me for it. And, like, I am giving you permission. I'm giving you one dunk. I'm giving you one. Let's make that clear. When I ask that, do you not see yourself here in 5 years? In 10 years, or whatever you want to define as the future? I know, it's a corny question.
I've been looking into some options.
Oh. That kind of thought there was going to be a dunk. That's actually way worse. Hey, I'm gonna get out of the car. I have to go to the store and, well, I guess cancel Mary's account. She was pretty emphatic about that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go do that, and I guess I'll see you at home.
Well, just give me a call if you want to ride, all right?
Yeah, I'll give you a call if I might just walk though. I could probably use the air.
All right. Cool.
All right.
Chronal distortion detected. Device discovery. There is a device here, a new way to travel through time. Roll 1d6 to determine the nature of the device. 2. The briefcase. Inquiry. An agent appears to hand-deliver the briefcase. Are they a friend, a rival? What words of doubt or encouragement do they offer?
Desperately looking for something to pay attention to in this moment, because Christ, I really wish I was not here for this. This seems like might be more of a personal moment. Doesn't really seem like there needs to be a guy here for this. I am looking desperately in either direction, and I lock eyes with me, one of the me's. I guess this is a thing where there's going to be a lot of me, in the car next to me. He gives me a wave. I'm going to, timed perfectly so that the door of the car opens and closes just in time for me to sneak out, roll out, run to the car next to me. Subject identified. Jeff Stormer, Earth 1225. Jeff slides me a briefcase, gives me a wink, and says, "Don't worry, friend. I've left a little special gift inside to help you get through these uncertain moments in our journey. Take care." It's a mason jar of... Is this eggnog? Hey, are the other Jeffs okay? Is something wrong? What is happening? All right, I'm going to open this briefcase. Here we go.
Device activated. The briefcase. Top-of-the-line agency tech, more accurate than the watch or skimmer, though a bit unwieldy. The briefcase can focus on specific moments, objects, being, and phenomena as a vector of travel. When using the briefcase, roll 2d6 and treat the results as a pair in an order you choose. Add or subtract the first number from the tens digit of your episode number, and the second number from the ones digit to determine a new travel date. Feel free to consult the following prompts as your agent would cycle through the points of focus while operating the briefcase before making your choice of dice order. Then reference the result with the following list of prompts. Rolling 2d6 to determine new destination. Results 1 and 1. Options admittedly limited at this juncture. You may choose results 1 and 1 or 1 and 1.
You put a jar of eggnog in my briefcase, but you couldn't put anything more useful in terms of like actual travel destination. Okay, fine. That's fine.
New destination determined. Earth 325. Pit Crawler with Johnny Sims.
You can see the huge swirling vortex now. It's very close, though actually now you're so close, you can see that what looks from a distance like a single ball of energy is lots of small eddies and waves around a small, maybe like a football-sized sphere of absolute nothingness. Between you and this football of nothingness is a half-exploded wizard. And by half-exploded, I mean in terms of the stage of exploding he is in. It looks like it's a wizard who is exploding, crackling with magical energy, and you would guess that he has been incredibly slowly exploding for some time. He's clearly dead, but, semi-suspended.
I don't like the look of that, and I don't like that this entity can potentially control what appears to be some kind of living explosion. So I'm gonna see if I can maybe just find something. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here to fight whatever this fucking thing is the problem.
Chronal distortion detected. A book, old and worn. Nausea washes over you as you flip through its pages. What knowledge do you find in there about the entity?
An old wizard spellbook. I don't really want to deal with wizards. I'm already dealing with enough things. The idea that this is a wizard spellbook is... I hate this. Okay, fine. Inside of this book, I'm flipping through the pages and I realize this is complicated notes on like the mechanics of this wizard, what brought this wizard into this frozen explosion state, the lightning bird that is flying outside. I'm sorry, the lightning bird. You know what? I don't have time to unpack that. About the criminal that is standing over there and is contemplating doing all kinds of terribly ill-advised things. That's great. We love that. The entity has been studying all of this for a great deal of time. It's not omnipotent. It's not omniscient. It doesn't know everything. It has been present and studying things for this entire time. And that means that it might potentially have knowledge gaps, right? And that means that, like, if something is changing and something is meddling with the system... Oh... So I'm an X factor. Okay. Suddenly the agency angle makes a lot more sense to me. I think. I'm not feeling great about it, but okay. Let's dig through the briefcase and see what else we can find. Maybe before that thing explodes more, I'm going to see if I can find another spot to jump to.
Briefcase activated. Destination coordinates 6, 5. Possibilities include 56 or 65. Inquiry 56. A silence broken. What impossible sound shatters the calm around you? Inquiry 65. A void appears and you reach for your coin. Heads, it appears in someone. You look inside. What looks back? Tails, it appears in something. You listen at the edge. What do you hear?
Okay. Okay, if I'm processing all of this correctly, I'm going to be the safest in the places where the most chaos is happening, and that implies to me this sort of whatever this void is. So, let's go.
New destination determined. Earth 301. Follow me down with Joey Martin.
You emerge atop a rocky cliff, its surface slick with rainwater, lightning, cracking the sky above you, and a titanic worm roiling in storm-dark clouds. The acidic excretions are mixing with the freezing rain to pelt down upon you with a violent sea in the distance. Carrion crows the size of a large man circle you overhead, their calls echoing off the rock like mocking laughter. A crumbling stone stair lashed by waves descends to a black sand beach below. Upon the beach, a nightmare battle endlessly rages. Naked souls tear at one another with tooth and nail, oblivious to the world surrounding them. A short distance away, others dangle in cramped cages at the edge of the sea, pleading for release as they are endlessly battered by rain, wind, and waves. A few paces beyond that looms a ghostly form of a broken ship, beached upon a muddy shore. Stooped figures crawl and claw at the muck surrounding it, while something huge and old lurks deep within the shattered hull, watching with a calculating, otherworldly eye. In the distance, you can see a jagged mountain range with their peaks topped with snow, high above a frozen harbor and a dense pine forest. The wind is relentless, howling with the sound of inhuman voices, hurling acidic rain and razor-sharp ice that raises welts upon your skin. You look for shelter, but none can be found. You know the only thing to do now is to press on.
Okay, so I'm in hell? Is this hell? This is definitely hell. I'm in hell. That probably would have been good for me to look up before I got here. I don't love this. But I also know that somewhere in hell there is a void that has been caused by whatever this entity is, and that void represents chaos, represents a change, and represents a gap in their knowledge, and so that is what I am looking for.
Flip coin to determine source of void. Heads. Void is found in someone. You look inside. What do you see?
Okay. Well, I see the void, and I see it's interesting because it's starting small and seeming to expand outward. I don't love that I'm staring into a gap into somebody's liver that has been carved out. This is, fuck, I should know this. This is embarrassing. Prometheus, I think, right? Yes, computer is confirming that this is Prometheus, and I'm looking inside and I am seeing everything. Okay, sure. That's all of reality? Okay. So it's a cracks in the wall, holes in the wall, all of reality, peeking through a rip in the paper situation. I shouldn't be okay with that, right? I shouldn't be as calm about that as I am. But I guess maybe I'm getting the hang of this. Okay, cool. Prometheus? Buddy? Take care of yourself, be well. As well as you can be. Sorry about your situation. Okay, briefcase is working out. Let's keep making this happen.
Briefcase activated. Roll 2d6 to determine new destination. Results 2, 4. Possibilities 42 or 24. Prompt 42. A new way to travel. Device discovery. Prompt 24. A blind spot. A part of your vision you cannot look at directly sits at the edges of your peripheral vision. What sounds do you hear that strike dread in your heart?
Alright, well that decision's admittedly a little bit easier, so let's go track down a new time travel device. Let's go!
New destination. Earth 259. Rivals? In my superhero school? With Draconics. Device discovery. Roll 1d6 to determine new device. 6. The Bell. A monument to the entity. Architectural angles collide in an ever-changing fractalization that no human mind could imagine, no human hands could craft. Inside, you are presented with the bell. What must you sacrifice to enter?
I'm on a city street, and I am looking at whatever this object is. And I'm watching two superheroes. And I'm going to say, like, before either of us has a chance to definitively act, like, we're both kind of ready in an action position. And that's when we see each other. Or do you think we see each other later, like when we're actually like engaging with Knuckle Duster?
No, I think we see each other in that moment.
Yeah.
Like I can imagine us like being literally on either side of Knuckle Duster. Like we both came from different directions. We both the bride and we see Knuckle Duster there and then past Knuckle Duster we see the other.
And it's just like eyes like dish plates, right? Like it's a complete, like, I think Node was like ready, like in a 3-point stance, like ready to rush in, and just like stands up, bolts up dead, like eyes like dish plates, hand over the mouth, like.
And like C4 is like kind of not fully crouched, but like crouched ready to like leap into action. And then the moment he sees Node, he's kind of like, he just tries to keep cool, but you can hear him just, fuck.
Try to crack this thing, and they don't seem to be able to. Whatever this thing is, the entity presumably knows them well enough to know how to block whatever their abilities are. But it doesn't know me. So I am getting into this thing. And the thing that I am sacrificing to gain access to this monument is my anonymity in the face of the entity. I walk up to it and I confidently say, "Hey, yo, fuckface. That's Chef Stormer. Let me in." And a door opens. And I don't love that a door opens, but a door opens. And I am confronted with the bell. A small handheld bell. When rung, the reverberations carry across space and time the rhythms of your body aligned to its harmonics. With each use, the timeline and your sense of self are eroded. The bell calls the entities to a specific date. To use the bell, destroy this date within your planner by any means you see fit. In exchange for this sacrifice, the entity gives you access to its powers over time. You may choose any prompt from any device page, including those devices not in your inventory, and respond to it, traveling to a new date as if you had used that device. But first, you must consult the following prompt based on the number of times you've used the bell. I've already given up my anonymity in the face of this thing, which means that I think the next thing that has to happen is I have to have an entity encounter to confront this thing directly. So I'm going to pull open one of the devices at random. I've popped open the skimmer, and I'm going to activate an entity encounter, which is result number 9. So I'm activating skimmer number 9. First sacrifice. First prompt. The bell alters your shadow. What inhuman quality has it taken on? How does it interfere or help you as you carry on? I watch my shadow go full Peter Pan. It severs from my body and starts dancing around and talking, and it's babbling pure LinkedIn, businessy, buzzwordy nonsense. It seems whatever this entity is, I am never going to be fully rid of it. My shadow is going to be a constant reminder of what it is and what it can do. And I look around at this earth that I am on, and as I blink away, I sense a wave of static wash over it. And for a moment, I see C4 and I see Node, and they lock eyes with each other, and they give a nod, and they fly off into the abyss to battle whatever this overwhelming entity is. The way that heroes do. I've got to be a hero as well. Here we go. Skimmer. Device unknown. Mechanics activated. Roll 2d6. Add together the results. Flip that many pages on your podcast website. Choose a date on that page as your new travel prompt. And consult the matching prompt. New destination determined. Earth 196. Heel Turn 3, live with J.R. Goldberg.
Hey, party people! Welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast, where the gaming table is always built for two. I did not almost forget the tagline of the show. I will not. I want that on record. That was a pause for dramatic effect.
This is Tattooed Moms in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I know where I am. This is one of my favorite bars. I'm back in Philly. I'm at one of my favorite bars, and I'm hosting a live show, live podcast. My friend JR. This is admittedly a weird place to have like a showdown with some sort of cosmic entity, but I mean, there's an entity here. It's sort of human-ish, too many fingers and too many teeth, but like there's a presence here that is just, I guess, sitting and watching the show. I guess I'll grab a cocktail and I will sit down with it. Entity encounter. Roll 1d6. 2. In a voice that unravels and rebuilds your inner ear, the entity shares a truth about you, the agency, or itself. What does it reveal? Emergency note. Earths 363 and 325 have been compromised.
And we're sitting and we're watching this thing and we're kind of laughing and enjoying ourselves. It's a weirdly quiet, calm moment. And suddenly they lean over and they whisper in my ear, to be clear,
To clear the
just
air.
to make things clear.
We don't want to
No
hurt
one wants
you.
to hurt you. You are perfectly safe here. We simply want you. All we want is for you to
All we
work
want
with
is for you to
join us. Is that so bad?
That's not so
That's not that bad when you think about it. And somehow that feels way fucking worse than if they just wanted to kill me. I'm gonna finish my drink. I'm gonna pop open my briefcase. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here.
Briefcase results. 1. Options
Are you
available.
fucking
11.
kidding me?
4. 11.
Great.
New destination. Earth 185. Bleak Spirit with Bill Sunderland.
Right. But the image that jumped into my head immediately when I was reading through the rules and thinking of scenes is a library. Like an old, ancient, half-buried library that people have found. I just like that as a setting, right? When we're talking about old knowledge and lost history, you know, I just think this concept of like... And if we're talking at the end of a journey, right? If there's some concept that part of this journey is about discovery or solutions to what's happened in the world, which won't get completely solved, but this idea of finding that last repository of knowledge is sort of a classic quest in a post-fall universe.
I love that. I love the idea that also that the library is our area, right? Like the library, which means that this has to be like a massive, like I'm picturing like a massive like library of, what is Alexandria, right? The Library of Alexandria?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not, there's not a library somewhere in our area. The library has catacombs and books and rooms and it goes and hallways no one's ever been down, like this beautiful, expansive, broken thing. I think I like that.
Yeah, and it might never end. We don't know. We don't know where the boundaries of this library is. That owns. Okay, so I'm gonna say you threw out. You mentioned catacombs, and I love the idea that there are like literal There are. I'm gonna call them the catacombs of biography.
Ooh, I love
that there is literal tombs. There's tombs and barrows and a whole section of the library that is like. People are there and they're surrounded by like every, biography book and scroll of their deeds. And it is literally like you go there, there's a dead person, and here is their story around you.
I love it.
So give me another location.
Oh, all right. Well, it's a library, so you need some kind of grand reading room with all of its little, all those scenes you see in like the State Library of New York. Everyone's in that one big open tiered room where everyone can sit and grab those books off the shelves and read them.
I mean, last time I was in a giant library, I at least found a book that told me what the fuck was going on. So like maybe there's something here that is helpful. I guess we'll find out.
Chronal Distortion.
I already know what the fucking distortion is. Come
Nausea
on.
washes over you as you flip through its pages. What knowledge do you find out there about the entity?
This book is a business plan? What the fuck? There's like media kits and like photos and seriously? What the fuck am I looking? It's trying to corporatize the multiverse. Ew, fuck that. Okay, yeah, now I'm on board. Nope, this thing's gotta die. Fuck this thing. Let's go. All right, which device do I want to use here? I mean, if I really wanted to, I could just stare this thing down again and again. I have the spell. I could just keep hunting it down, but like, I really don't want to do that. I'm gonna use my briefcase. I'm gonna flip open the briefcase.
Briefcase activated. Rolling 2d6 to determine location. Results 3, 2. Possible results 32 or 23. New destination Earth 153. Lady Blackbird with Shannon Carey. Chronal distortion detected. An egg, translucent, radiating energy. What do you see as you peer beneath the surface? What do you do when the shell begins to crack? The egg hatches. In 5 days, do you stay to see what emerges?
We are in the captain's chambers, and he's kind of like showing you. I don't think you've seen it, and I think it's like nicer and larger than any other room on the Owl. No, it is It is distinctly like one of the. It is a closet that has been converted into captain's quarters.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "This is where I do the captain stuff."
Is he like nervously putting things away because it's kind of messy from him not thinking anybody was going to be in there.
Yes, that's very good.
Like, maybe not quite underwear, but definitely, like, last night's clothes.
And like just like putting away books as though they looked, even though they did not look out of place. He's just like picking stuff, doing that thing where like you're like, oh, I should pick up my place, and you just start like picking things up and putting them in other spots.
It's very cute. Very cute. Is there like one chair and he's moving things off of the one chair and trying to get her to sit in it?
Yes. Oh, 100%.
I'm on the ship. There's this egg. And I got to assume that this is how the entity spreads or spawns or whatever this is. And this is going to grow up to be the next iteration of whatever horror is lurking out there. And if it spawns here, if it grows here, it's going to start doing its thing. So I think what I got to do is I got to take this egg with me and dump it. Hopefully, you know what? We're going to dump this thing. I know where we're going to dump this thing. Give me the bell. The bell. Second use. Sacrifice 2 days. It takes one of your eyes. What does it replace it with? And what unseen forces do you now see? Blueprints, executive notes, little pop-ups, a HUD hovering around in this artificial eye that has been planted into my face. At least now I can see how the entity sees the cosmos. I know exactly where we're going. Give me that goddamn prompt. Season Shuffler, device unknown, mechanic, draw a card, and go to the corresponding episode. Card number 5. Any episode ending in 5, 5, 15, 25. Destination selected. 325. Error. Earth compromised. Error. Error. Compromised. 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 Error. Compromised. 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 Error. Earth compromised. Temporal divergence occurring. Please be seated. Temporal divergence. Some agents call it the storm. Others, time hell. Whatever this maelstrom between timelines is, whether in your mind or around your body, it is real, and the only way out is through. Roll 2d6 and use the sum of the results to answer one of the following prompts. Results: 4 plus 2, 6. Your journey will end. You see the possibilities, infinite, all at once. Many of them find you dead or unmade. Do you have hope? Can you succeed? Well, first things first, eat shit, egg! Secondly, I see a lot of death in my possible timelines. I've been stabbed by a clone. I have been consumed by ghosts. There's a lot of times where I don't make it out. And frankly, I don't know if I make it out. But, but I think if anything is giving me hope, it's the fact that there are so many of me floating around this multiverse. And as long as there is one of us to keep going, well, then we've got all the goddamn time in the world.
Infinite lives, we got infinite lives. Never say never, we're gonna live forever. Infinite.
Here we go. Briefcase activated. Calculating coordinates. 2, 1. Possible outcomes: 12, 21. New destination: Earth 165. Starts without number with Abe Klein. Device discovery. Roll 1d6. 1. Prompt. When you come across the package containing the skimmer, a message from Director 0214 appears embedded in a sign, a menu, a newscast, or in the mouth of a passerby. Things are getting worse. What warning does the message contain? I'm in the cargo hold of a ship. I mean, I say cargo hold, but this looks more like a loot den or like a treasure hoard. Has this ship been stealing things?
And a message pops up. Oh, sorry. I guess it's given itself a name. Score was an AI that woke up, stole 14 million credits by manipulating a stock market, and after being imprisoned, happened to be stolen by a gang of in a smash and grab job by a gang of bandits.
Sounds like a man after my own heart.
Suddenly, a holographic message appears in front of me. It is Director 0214. Wait, I thought Jeff was in charge of the... Who is Director 0214?
Jeff, great news. We have agreed to a peace treaty with the entity. Your mission is over. You can come home. Director 0214, signing off.
So the agency's corrupt. That's probably inevitable. Council of Reeds, Council of Ricks. This is probably the thing that was inevitably going to happen. So I guess I'm a rogue agent now. Fucking cool. Well, let's crack this thing open.
The skimmer, a small handheld device with a blank screen, dizzying patterns dance across a pixelated display as you slide your finger over the single scroll wheel beneath the screen. The skimmer is agency tech that leverages the rotation of the Earth, long retired due to the side effects on an agent's body. When using the skimmer, roll 2d6, add together the results, flip that many pages on your podcast's episodes backlog website, and pick a date on that page as the date you travel to, use the result, and consult the matching prompt. Calculating destination. 5 plus 4, 9. Entity encounter. 6. In a moment of comfort, you realize you have been lulled into illusion. Restrained, you awake, embroiled in the mass of the entity. What sight, sounds, and sensations does it use to toy with you before casting you back in time?
I mean, for a moment, I'm back at work, right? I'm writing copy. I have never become embroiled in all of this, and then I realized that I left that job to go on this crazy adventure. I've got to still be on this adventure. Fuck, where am I at this moment? Jesus goddamn Christ. I'm surrounded on all sides by a swirling eldritch being that is laughing at me and flashing images into my head. This fucking sucks. I'm going home.
During your third entity encounter, you discover that something you believed about the entity is proved false. Add this correction to the notes section of your character sheet.
Now wait, hold on. This thing could have killed me right now. Like if it, and it said it didn't want to kill me, but like it could have, tortured me, broken my will, any number of things. And it didn't. It like flashed illusions to try and keep me placated but happy. I don't think this thing can hurt me. It can trap me in a mind prison probably and do all kinds of fucked up brain things to me, but like it could have snapped my neck just now and it didn't. And it knows that I have gone rogue to try and kill it. I don't think this thing can hurt me. I think physically I'm probably not safe from whatever fucked up multiverse things I jump into, but like, I don't think the entity has the physical capacity to hurt me. Okay. Let's see where this goes.
New destination, Earth 263, Hollytech and Jollymancy, with Brandon Leon Gambetta. Date of significance, Christmas. Agent 1225 gives you a package. What helpful item is inside? Noted on your character sheet.
It's snowing. That's actually pretty nice. I don't feel great about the ruined sleigh, the flaming wreck that's sitting in front of me, but the snow is nice. So what happens is, like, you get up and you push your gear past your limits. You're sparking and you're crackling, and you grab the presents and you save them just in time, and then you collapse. And, like, I come down and the sleigh crashes into a million pieces and is just ruined. And we have the presents, but like the sleigh is gone. The CEO is destroyed, but the sleigh is ruined. We have like this is a real hopeless moment.
The Hallmark couple is alive. They're just like under bear.
Yeah, they're and I like we're just sitting around. There's a moment where we're just sitting around, and we're like,
and Bud is still in like the huge armor, but it's like definitely not working the way it should. So he's kind of like just like hunched over in it.
So that's it. We lose. Can't save Christmas.
I think I'm going to get fired too.
Oh, there will be no firing today, fellas.
Oh, good.
And Santa looks around. He's like, well, the sleigh is nice. The sleigh is awful pretty, but truth is, I kind of think maybe I'd gotten a little spoiled in my old age. You see, I've run at this for a long time, and it used to be that I delivered these gifts by hand. I would walk from village to village, handing out gifts to the people that needed them, and, well, it might take a while. It might take a whole 13 days. But I'm gonna make it happen, and as that happens, we hear jingle bells. And who should pull up with a brand new flight-ready sleigh but Grizzles and an entire fleet of other elves. And Grizzles looks over at Bud and over at Fixer and is like, I told you, I had your back for old time's sake. Santa, load it up. We head out in 5.
And like Santa just like grabs the the sack of toys that just completely obliterated Bud's mechanized bear suit.
Just throws it over the shoulder.
Like it's nothing. Tosses it up in the sleigh and hops in and goes, "Are you heading?" I start doing Bud voice. "You two gonna come with me on the ride or heading back home?"
And there I am, Agent 1225 in an eggnog-themed Christmas sweater. And he's approaching me with a smile. Hello, my friend. I hear that you've gone rogue. And I wanted to say, I'm proud of you. You know, we spend so much of our time living for others and giving of others, especially this time of year, that the love that we give ourselves is sometimes, maybe, the most magical thing of all, you know? Really, I think what it embodies most of all is the holiday spirit. Okay. And so, in honor of that, I got you a little gift. I hope that you enjoy. Is it a mason jar of eggnog? It's a mason jar of eggnog. Cheers. Have a great day, my friend. Good luck hunting that monster. All right, yeah, that guy rules. I don't got beef with that guy. That guy's great. And this eggnog is fucking delicious, to be clear. Chrono alert. Earths 162, 187, 222, 226, 345, and 382 have been compromised. Okay, I am running out of time. I gotta figure out how to beat this thing quick. Briefcase, don't fail me now. Don't show me another fucking book. Calculating coordinates. Outcomes 6, 4. Possible outcomes 64, 46. New destination Earth 199, Capers Covert with Craig Campbell. Prompt, agency encounter. Well, the agents seem to be having a fucking blast. We're here at a casino.
We're going to put you starting out here as we fade into the scene at a poker table.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know the rules for Baccarat.
That's fair. I don't think anyone does. I believe even James Bond guesses.
Yeah, he just places bets and just hopes, and then the dealer tells him and pushes a bunch of chips at him, and James is like, "Well, thank you."
Well, all right.
So you're there playing poker, and there's at the table is a rich kind of Texas oil man, bigwig look guy, kind of a high roller type. There's a lovely woman who is in kind of slinky, even for kind of an evening gown outfit. She's long blonde hair, and she has a kind of a quiet demeanor about her, but she seems friendly, and so when she does kind of chit chat with people, she manages to kind of get all eyes on her occasionally, but then there's a little something in her eyes that makes you think maybe she's up to something. There's also a kind of a really buttoned down business man who is. You've been around enough cheaters in your time to know that this guy is keeping quiet, looking at stuff. He's really focused and he's paying attention to stuff. You could swear he's probably counting cards. He's probably got some sort of system that he's keeping in mind, like how many high cards, what cards are showing, what cards aren't. He's looking at doing his. Seems like he's maybe doing his best to study people too. Maybe trying to place tells and figure out what's going on. Counting cards. I don't know. I suddenly went into counting cards. I don't know if you count cards for poker. That's a blackjack thing.
I think that's a part of
there's part of one of the things
well.
you can kind of keep track of. Yeah. However the deck is played, but regardless, he's really concentrating on what he's doing. He seems like he's kind of maybe a little out of his depth, but he's trying really hard. And you've seen that type before. And so there you are, and we'll say the Oracle has hooked you up with, let's say about $300 in just disposable income, which is a tidy, not a bad sum for the 60s.
So. Shanks, I'm picturing very much like a Jack Klugman, like an Oscar from The Odd Couple type. Ruffled tweed suit with the brown elbow patches, and is sort of started leaning back in the chair a little bit, and it's sort of this is part of my intentional poker strategy. Is I am looking like. The rubiest rube that ever rubed. I am just consciously looking like I do not care to be here. I'm puffing on my very stubby cigar. I am,
looking at the cards with one hand and then talking through the cigar like, yeah, this is probably good. This is probably fine. All right, let's do this today.
Okay.
Hey, big Tex. You going in? We're gonna go hard this one? We should go hard this one.
He gets right up in your, he turns to you and kind of gives you all of his attention, leans in a little bit, kind of fat fists, pushing a couple of chips, and there's like, you keep talking over there, boy. We'll take care of things here. We'll see how this plays out in this next hand.
All right, I'm all about it. I love it. Love a good game. Happy to be here. Happy to be at the stand.
The young woman who's there seems slightly bemused. The business suit looking guy just like is not paying attention to what any of you are doing. Let's do this. Let's figure out how you're gambling. Let's see how you do. But how are you gambling? That's one of the things in Capers is that there's not specifically a gambling skill, because you can gamble in a lot of different ways. You can play the numbers. You can play the odds, and that becomes kind of a smarts thing, right? You can attempt to play the player, so you can try to read people and determine tells. You can also go out and out mechanics style and cheat and actually try to manipulate cards and sleeve cards and move cards and misdirect and those sorts of things. Or you can just suck it up and just play whatever you're dealt is what you're dealt, and you're not really trying.
If you're not cheating, you're not playing. I feel like that's carnival. That's carnival play 101. Is if you're not cheating. And besides, it's not like I don't have a deck of cards. It's not like I don't have a deck of cards and 6 aces, ready to drop at a moment's notice. Like, this is not my first rodeo.
Sure.
Literally, the carnival used to run with a rodeo. It was a whole thing.
And, there's HQ. I haven't actually seen what they've done with the place yet.
Roll 1d6. 5. The agency has many entrances, this one a back door of sorts. You make your way to the records room. You find a secret about yourself, the agency, or the entity. What is it? I'm flipping through these records and
I'm trying to find their file on me because I want to know what they think of me, what they know about what I've been doing. And I'm not in here. Either they don't think of me as a threat or they never considered me an agent to begin with. Both of which sucks. I hate this. I hate this agency. I'm going to have a word with these motherfuckers. With Director 0214, you and I are going to have some fucking words. Mark my words. All right, let's go, briefcase. Here we go. Results. 4. Possible outcomes. 44 or 44. Prompt. A church that has dedicated themselves to the entity. How has the entity improved their lives? Why do they insist this is true? New destination. Earth 156, Spindle Wheel Part 2 with Sasha Renault.
I think we should draw from the Arbiter's deck for the battle for the most part.
I think so, and I think I might also play my Atropos.
Oh shit, alright.
I think Moon out of orb. I think for what happens after the battle, I'm going to save it, because I think that I think either way it's either way Atropos is being played, and it just depends on which of my two, which side the card gets played on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm actually also going to take Stone Soup, because guess what? There is an ocean out there.
There is.
I was right.
You were right. All right.
Flip this. Actually, it's kind of both. The moving finish line, and a worthy opponent, right? We are well matched. And our tactics are working, but barely. It's by the grace of our tactics that we're holding our own.
Yeah.
And the proud, venomous obsession of unswayed by reason or patience. These things are terrifying and relentless. Mm-hmm. I think for Vellum's part and for Vellum's sort of the people under Vellum, under the veneer of impassive stone's fragile flesh dressed in sand, the cursed swords just cut through these things like butter. Mm-hmm. And these things which have previously taken an entire squad to take down one of, you know, in the entire afternoon, and serious losses. And we are just cutting through them.
Correction. Designation Earth 156 has been changed. New destination. Wendy's presents Feast of Legends.
All right, everybody. And with this, we enter the deep freeze, and you stand at the beef gate. You continue walking towards the icy mountains that separate Freshtovia from the deep freeze. The snake has led you to a large stone gate carved into the base of the mountains. The gate is nearly 30 feet high, with 2 large stone pillars on either sides of the massive stone doors. The stone slabs make these doors look like they could weigh many tons. On sight, getting through appears to be impossible. Okay, but like that can't be... No. But like that can't... On the one hand, that can't be what the agency sold out for and what this all fight is. Wendy's? That can't possibly be what this fight is. I can't accept that. On the other hand, Jeff sounds happy, at least, and, like, I assume he's gotten paid for whatever this is. I don't know, man. Whatever this is, I don't want to be here for this.
Watch activated. New coordinates 3. Possible results 3:30. New destination Earth 196. The Lost Mines of Fandelier live at Tattooed Moms.
Hey, party people! Welcome once again to a very special live edition of Party of One. I am so excited. This is going to be a very, very special episode. This is not our usual fare, in part because, like, y'all know that we love our D&D, but a lot of our stuff to date has been homebrewed. We play in our own worlds. This is a pretty exciting opportunity to, like, go back to an adventure that I think every other show played in and, like, get to experience the Mines of Fandelier for ourselves. Wait. I'm here. I was here. There I am, across the aisle, sitting with there's the entity. Jesus, that does not get easier to look at. But I'm supposed to be watching myself play Heel Turn 3 with J.R. Goldberg here. That's what's... And instead I'm at a table with a whole bunch of people I don't recognize, and we're just sort of, like, half playing D&D and half just kind of doing improv. Chronal distortion. There lies a victim, surrounded by loved ones. What about them has changed, taken, or controlled? That's not me up there. I mean, it was me at some point, but, like, this is what I want to be doing? This is what, like, I feel bad that I'm not doing? This sucks. You know what? Give me that fucking bell. The bell. Third prompt. It takes root within you. Where do the sensations begin? It's hard to explain. I'm getting ready to, like, force myself into a place where I can stare this fucker in the face and confront this entity once again head on. And then I feel this fucking, like, weight in my rib cage. Like, it just sags. And I feel heavier in a way that I can't explain, because I look at myself on stage and I'm like, that could be me. I could just be doing that and probably do very well. But, like, that's not fucking me. That's not what any of this calls for, and I'm not going to let it become me. But, like, God, do I look at that sometimes and I just feel like, what the fuck if? And I feel this rage and sickness in my chest as I offer up 3 dates. I have to destroy 3 planets, 3 worlds. You can have them. 172-9865. You can fucking have them. Skimmer 9, take me to the goddamn entity.
4. In a dark void, a jagged chorus of 1,000 voices asks you 3 questions. 1 of yourself, 1 of the agency, and 1 of what you call the entity. Do you answer?
How did it feel? Destroying those worlds. Be real with me. You got to admit, it felt a little good destroying those worlds, didn't it? No, there were memories and lives and people and things wrapped up in those worlds. Of course it didn't feel good. The agency the agency couldn't care less about you. Okay, that's not a question, and also fuck you. Why wouldn't you want to work with someone? Wouldn't you rather work with someone? I just feel like, why wouldn't you want to work with someone who does want you around? Okay, like I said, fuck you. No, absolutely goddamn not. I mean, no, fuck you.
New destination, Earth 102. Did you hear about the kid that died here? With Chris O'Neill.
I am in a dilapidated house, and there in front of me is a 15-year-old version of myself.
Are you 13-year-old Jeff?
13-year-old Jeff, so I am wearing sweatpants.
Is it now? Or is it when you were 13?
It is when I was 13, which was 2000. I'm 30 now, so it was the year 2000 on the dot.
That makes me feel real old, Jeff.
Yep. Living it. Living the moment. It was the year 2000. Y2K has just happened.
Sure.
Episode 1 has just come out.
Sure. And you were really into it.
I was real into it. I had not yet come around to realizing that it was not a good movie. So I'm wearing a Darth Maul t-shirt.
Yeah,
and sweatpants.
Yeah, that seems real.
Walmart sneakers. Glasses that are crooked because I've been tackled in the yard. And I'm by myself because I don't have a lot of friends at 13.
Right. Okay. So, something happened today to make this the worst birthday ever.
So I have a brother. My brother Matt has his birthday 3 weeks before mine.
Okay.
And so my birthday got lost in the shuffle a lot.
Oh, yeah. Classics, 16 Candles.
Yeah. So I think it is that like, my parents both worked. So, like, they were both at work. My brothers were all out with their friends. I didn't really have a lot of friends, like, in the area to hang out with. And I think I'm just, like, by myself the whole day.
All right, 13 Candles.
And, like, I know that this version of me, I saw it earlier in the Infinite Cosmos, is gonna die, like, momentarily from ghosts, but, like, Jeff, I'm gonna make sure that your life is great. Like, I know that you feel like your life sucks at this moment, but, like, eventually your life is gonna be pretty fucking sick, and I'm gonna make sure that that's the goddamn case. I can't forget what I'm doing this for, and it's people. It's me. It's the me that needs this world multiverse thing to exist. Let's fucking go. Watch, take me home. Watch activated. Result, 6. Possible outcomes, 6. 60. Destination decided. Earth 42. Project Wingspan with Russell Collins.
And when you hear some of the boffins and sciencey types and so on, and technicians are already there setting up all these weird monitors and laying out lengths of cable and plugging tubes into switch banks and all that sort of thing. There's also a little tent set up off to one side. You're hurried into the tent where a nurse hands you some hospital scrubs and then steps out of the tent. Just best to change out of your street clothes. Once you've changed and you're in your little hospital scrubs, they hand you this thing called your activation injector, and they walk you out to a little X that's been painted on the asphalt, on the cracked asphalt in the middle of this.
X marks the spot.
Yeah, middle of this junkyard. Everybody gets back a safe distance. They sound an alarm klaxon that buzzes 3 times, and then you jab yourself in the leg with the injector. Now, it starts out as kind of a warm tingling from your leg that sort of spreads up and down through your whole body. And then that tingling becomes more of a vibration. And it builds and builds and builds and builds until there's just sort of searing heat and a wave of pain. And the machine, in all its little tiny flittering black dots, just bursts out of your skin. Okay. You're sort of coated in a mist of your blood, but the pain immediately recedes after that's done. And then there's this gray swirling cloud of all these tiny, tiny dots just floating around you in all directions. This is the machine as it emerges from you. And then it begins doing what it's meant to do. It begins to build your weapons. The little dots fly out towards all the chunks of rusted metal and plastic and glass. They settle on them and then fly back. And fly out and fly back and fly out and fly back, so that they're sort of nibbling away at the metal, like insects, tearing apart something and carrying it back in tiny pieces to you. Yeah. And as they bring back these tiny little treasures, they start to construct them into your weapon form, your body as as the wingspan weapon. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
First of all, let's think about what you look like in your weapon form. This is part of where those visualization exercises came in. The machine really is guided by your imagination more than anything else. So you look kind of like what you expect you would look like as a one-man mechanized army. So it could be, for our purposes, it could be an Iron Man suit, could be something more bird-like, could be, Samus Aran, whatever. But generally, it's a humanoid form covered over in metal and equipment and all that sort of thing. So what is your weapon form shaped like?
I think it has
wings on the back, like jet wings, plane wings, because he's a pilot. And I think when he's visualizing things, he visualizes like planes because that's what he knows. And so he's got wings on the back, and it's sort of a metal, like plated, sort of a combination of like armor and almost like the proportions of almost a flight suit. This like wing set on the back, and it's like plating, like it's got like the
big heavy metal chunks, slabs.
And so it looks chunkier than I think you would expect such a like state of the art weapon to look, because I think he has a hard time visualizing like sleek angles and things. So I think it's very chunky, it's very big, and it has this bulky jetpack with like jet wings sticking out the back.
Big military industrial piece of machinery. Cool. That's good.
I think you and me both are about to make ourselves weapons for this fucking cause. Here we go. Chrono distortion detected. 2 timelines split your vision. You reach for your coin. Tails. Entity encounter. Prompt. 1. In a moment of cowardice, you observe the entity, feeding, gorging itself. On what is it consuming? I watched this entity land on this world, and I watched them tear their way through this laboratory, and I watched them arrive at the Rocket Man, and I watched them drain the possibility out of this man. I see his future for a moment.
Hana gets a communication. It's a telegram on official military letterhead. It's a little unusual. It's signed off by Delaney. That's like, you know, meet us here at this time, wear your finest. And it's like, oh, I'm going to a military luncheon. That's so exciting. And I'm like, oh, I've got business to take care of. You know, I'll meet you there. And there's a convoy pulls up, and or not a convoy, but like a car pulls up. And it takes her past town hall, past like the bingo halls where events are held. And it takes her to the junkyard. And she's very confused.
Yes.
And like they open the door, and she's like, this is a scrap yard? Is this the wrong spot? And
no, ma'am, this is the place.
She looks around, and there's a clearing, and she gets the briefest glimpse of a figure in the clearing before she sees a tiny flash of red as a button is pressed, and then a cloud of smoke and metal surrounds. And when it clears, for the first time, I'm not the Rocket Man. For the first time, it clears, and it is Klaus in maybe like a chromified version, but it is him in his military finest. And he walks over, and he extends a hand to Hannah, and like one of the military little bit reluctly turns up the volume on the radio, and some dance music starts playing. And he takes her, and he kind of holds her close, and they begin to float, just barely off the ground. And he kind of leans in, and he says, Hannah, I have 2 things I need to say to you right now.
I suppose you do.
1, I have been keeping a secret from you the entire time I've been an idol, and for that I will never fully forgive myself. I understand the scope of what was kept from you is unforgivable in its own way, and if your response to point number 2 is anger and a rebuff, I understand. And we're like actively dancing on air now, twirling around. Hannah, point number 2 is I have loved you from the moment that I first laid eyes on you. I understand. For everything that we've been through, you have been the thing that has kept you've kept my feet on the floor. And he looks down and laughs as they're not, very much not on the floor. You've kept my feet on the ground, and there's nothing I want more than to be here with you forever. And they land,
And he drops down on one knee and unearths, just as I think the chrome starts to fade, fade, and it begins to mist off.
Yeah.
And he pops the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Hannah, I love you. Will you marry me?
You found the most amazing, over-the-top way to ask that question. I almost feel foolish saying yes, because who says no to that? But yes. Even without the song and dance and all of your strange special effects. Yes, of course.
I'm so glad. And it gets sucked right out of him. And that is what this thing is looking for. It is looking for, and I see with my entity eye that it is doing this, and it is softening the curves. It is outlining things. It is adhering to the proven formula of Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. It is mapping all of these things out. It is predetermining things. It is removing the possibility. It is removing the weirdness from this story, the uncertainty, the lumpiness in favor of something easy, monetizable, proven. Prompt. On your 5th entity encounter, discover a weakness that the entity has fought to hide. This thing can't take chances. It has to operate on proven protocols that it knows will work. And I think that's where it and I differ, because all I really do is stupid shit that might not work. Okay. I can work with this. Let's go. Watch. Take me home. Watch. Activated. Determining coordinates. Result. 1. Possibilities. 1. 10. 100. Destination determined. Earth 142. Phoenix Dawn Command with Neil Powell. Chrono distortion detected. There are people disturbed by your arrival. Their whispers and glances make hairs on your neck stand up, and you reach for your coin. Heads. How do you convince them that you can be trusted? There are 2 lone warriors holding a wall here.
So I chose to go with the Durant school. So it's essentially, for context, if you think of a heavily armored individual, always up front, shield in hand, that kind of person. And the name of a phoenix often ties back not to who they were, but who they are as a phoenix. So I've named my phoenix Stalwart. And I have died 3 times now, and I went with Durant for the first 2 and Forceful for the last, because I was not fast enough to save the rest of our wing, which I think we'll get into in a little bit.
Yes.
I think the other things to talk about are the Talon that I have, which is the weapon that is always with me no matter what. And I've actually made it a spiked shield. So I don't actually have a melee weapon, but instead I use that shield for both defense and attack. And my uniform, which again always stays with me no matter how I change my physical appearance, is heavy plate armor. But you notice that this time around it's lighter, because I felt like I wasn't fast enough before, so I'm not quite as heavily armored as I once was.
And I am playing the devoted Phoenix known as Vineyard. Vineyard died for others. Vineyard, he sacrificed himself. He was a person who lived his life for others, and when the dread came, which is the grand terror overtaking our world, he stood in defense of others, died, and became the devoted. He doesn't wear a lot of armor. He's very light. He's, very lightweight. He has his cutlass on his side, which he has named the Wanderer Without a Home.
Oh.
We'll find
That's
out
awesome.
why in a little while. But he is dressed very fashionably, not a lot of armor, but his second death, he has also died 3 times. His second death was a shrouded death. He was in his first life, he was a traveling winemaker. He would make wine and go to these festivals. And he died defending people at one of these festivals from some horrible dread monstrosity that had come to harm people. In his second life, he died a shrouded death, exploring ancient artifacts and things that should not be known, and trying to unearth the stories of the ancients that they might help the Dawn Command's cause.
And I think the way that I make them believe in me is I
open up reality for a second and I show them that I'm pretty goddamn familiar with dying. And we linger for a moment, and I grab a weapon, and I open my briefcase. Briefcase activated. Results 5, 2. Possible outcomes 25, 52. Destination determined. Earth 167. I haven't seen you since, with Ash Cheshire. Prompt, an opportunity to study it up close. Entity encounter. Note, entity encounter number 6. Endgame activated. Entity encounter prompt. 5. Into your mind you are pulled, trapped in the memories you had forgotten. What are you shown? How are these visions twisted to endanger you? We're sitting in a restaurant. There's a quiet conversation happening nearby.
Did you give anyone else that ridiculous mustache you made me wear, or was that special just for me?
Oh, that was special just for you. I would never. That was yours and yours alone. I mean, you pulled it off better than any other agent that could have pulled it off.
It was the pulling off that did me in, if you remember.
That is fair. But I mean, had you not been caught, you would not have set off those mines. The facility would not have gone up in flames. That was a key critical win on our part. Frankly, I think that to the unseen eye, I almost would think that you getting caught was part of the plan.
Control. Should I call you Control? Is there another name that you prefer now? It seems strange to...
It makes me feel young again, if I'm being honest. You can call me Roy if you like, but, you know...
Well, in that case, Control, Roy.
Thank you.
Since you're out of the game, and I am no longer with the institution that we both worked for, I feel that I could tell you now some details about that mission that I wasn't allowed to share with you before.
I mean, obviously, we wouldn't want to be sharing state secrets. You know, obviously, these were classified for a reason. But hypothetically, if you were to know things, and you were to just sort of say them to yourself out loud, I couldn't conceivably, you know. And I had just happened to be nearby.
I mean, the worst possible thing for me would be for you to leave thinking that buffoonery was genuine on my part.
Fair.
And I don't think it's risking too much for me to simply say that that your perception may be accurate, that I was, at least in some part, playing a bit of the fool, but I'm not sure how to put this, Control, Roy. Thank you. But when you brought up the triggering of the mines, there is something that has stuck in my craw all these years, and something that I have really wanted to ask you. Why didn't my reinforcements come through?
Right to the point. That's what I like about you, Albatross. Are you still Albatross? Are you still with an organization where I feel like a fool. I haven't asked you word one about where you've been. It's been me.
I am self-employed. Let's leave it at that.
Not a bad place to be.
It's good work if you can get it.
Yeah, it certainly is.
But I feel that you're avoiding my question, Control, Roy.
Perhaps a little bit. Suffice it to say, while you on the ground may have felt that you were a knight or a queen or a bishop, how the piece that you represented on the board may not have reflected that. Maybe not yet. Maybe not at the time of the incident.
I see. So everything that happened between you and me on that mission meant nothing? Is that I was a pawn in your game?
My game, no. I couldn't put myself as more than perhaps a rook in the organization's game. What happened between us meant a lot to me. But
in terms of your role in the operation in the Orlando incident. You were put there with a purpose, and that purpose was to get caught.
But how could you have allowed that to happen to me? It absolutely destroyed my credibility. I was exposed. I can laugh now about the idea of being discovered by having my false mustache ripped from my face, but it was quite humiliating, Roy. It's strange to call you that. It's very strange to have a name for you now.
Yeah, that's why it was always Control, but given that I'm on the outskirts now, it's not really my place to care too much about procedure. I spent more than enough time doing that.
Oh, I suppose that's true. I've thought about you so much in the years since then. And, well, I must confess I did look for you a bit, although I didn't want you to... Well, maybe I didn't want to find you, but I did try occasionally.
Yeah, I know. It is my job to know, after all.
It is your job to know.
And
maybe that's why I did it, to make sure that you knew that I was thinking about you.
And for what it's worth, even had you not, I would have been thinking about you. It was a thorn in my side that I didn't speak up. I could have. But I guess the only consolation that I can give you, Albatross, is I had to pick somebody. And I mean, you remember. You've met. You were there. You saw the agents that you were working with. None of them could live the self-employed life. That structure, that feeling like you had a place in the war, in the game, meant more to them than it did you. I knew you'd be okay.
And the entity just looks at me and floods my mind for a moment with memories of long nights and rejections and ghostings and hours and hours of work, hundreds of hours of labor over this, whatever this is, for what feels at times like less than nothing, and just says, to be clear,
to clear the
just
air.
to make things clear,
We don't want to
no
hurt
one wants
you.
to hurt you. You are perfectly safe here. We simply want you. All we want is for you to
All we
work
want
with
is for you to
us.
join us.
Is that so bad?
That's not so
That's
bad.
not that bad when you think about it. Endgame activated. Your vision fractures, timeline spiderweb in front of you, as you come face to face with the entity. 1,000 voices confront you through your ears and your mind. Flip your coin. Tails. The entity offers a proposition. It can restore your memories and leave you in a version of time that promises that lets you die old within. In exchange, you will feed it all of the days which you encountered the agency or discovered a device. Do you accept? And I sit for a moment, and I sip my wine, my Lambrusco, and I say, you know, it's the only option that makes sense. It's the logical choice, right? I don't think any reasonable person would choose the other option. There's only one thing to do here that makes sense. And that's when I pull the dagger out of my sock and I stab the thing in the face. You know, their weakness was they couldn't handle an illogical option, and what is less logical than stabbing someone in the face in a crowded room of people? There is panic, there is crisis, there is pandemonium, and in an instant, I am sitting across from myself. Not one of the agents, not one of the alternate me's, but original me. Prime Jeff, the Jeff that recruited me on this nonsensical mission. You did good, kid. Yeah, thanks. Can I ask you something, other Jeff? Yeah, dude, what's up? Is it worth it? Because, like, all of this, I saw a lot of shit, and I don't know. Oh, yeah, without hesitation. No, dude, this rules. Like, it sucks sometimes, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. Anyway, you, ready to go home? I don't know that there's a home for me anymore, so I don't know. Well, in that case, do you maybe want to do a job for me? Does it involve blowing up an agency of evil Jeffs, like a Council of Reeds type John? Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd like that. Count me in, alternate me. Thanks, alternate me.